tushpara, pelmeni, uszka.
This type of dumpling is a common delicacy across Asia, from Central Asia, or actually even as far east as Xinjiang in China, all the way to the Mediterranean and up north in Eastern Europe. So how did those dumplings spread all across this huge area? Today we're going to tell you this amazing dumpling story and also show you how to make the Polish variety.
Let's start with the filling. In most traditions that we will talk about today, these dumplings are filled with meat, usually lamb or beef. Polish uszka are made with mushrooms because they are typically prepared for Christmas Eve, which was traditionally a meat-free day. Take about 70 grams of dried mushrooms and soak them in water. Add bay leaves, black peppercorns, and a few big pieces of onion. Throw in some salt. Boil this for around 1 hour until the mushrooms are completely soft.
The story of these dumplings starts somewhere in old Persia.
Persians used to have dumplings called joshpara, which meant something like the small boiled thing.
Dumplings are actually not at all common in today's Iran, but they spread both east and westward from there. In Lebanon, Syria, Palestine and Jordan, dumplings are known as chuchvara and commonly cooked with yogurt.
Turmeric is often added, giving the yogurt sauce a tint of yellow. In the east, in Central Asia, we have Kazakh tushpara, Tajik tushpera, Kyrgyz chuchpara, Uzbek chuchvara, and Uyghur chöchörä, sometimes written in Chinese as chöchörä.
All these names are clearly borrowed from one another, so we can literally see how dumplings traveled across this region.
While the mushrooms are cooking, finely chop 2 onions and fry until they turn golden. Drain the liquid from the cooked mushrooms and remove the spices. Chop them as finely as you can and mix with fried onions. Season with salt, marjoram and pepper. You can add some breadcrumbs to make the mixture smoother.
Notice that none of the dumpling names in the east have the final k of joshpara and Arabic shishbara. And this gives us a really cool clue on the timeline, because we actually know that Persian lost the final k around the 9th-10th century.
So the Arabic name shishbara, with the k sound at the end, suggests that dumplings arrived in that area before that period. They probably spread along the main axis of the Silk Road, but can we match it with some specific period or political entity?
There was actually a Persian empire that conquered this area, the Sasanian Empire. They were the last pre-Islamic Persian imperial dynasty, and they probably brought the dumplings with them.
There are no joshpara dumplings in Turkey, and it makes sense. At that time, it was still Byzantine territory that didn't get much direct Sasanian influence at all. Of course, Turkey does have some pretty amazing dumplings, but they're called mantı and belong to a completely different dumpling story. And what about all these dumplings in Central Asia?
They probably spread from Persia after the 10th century, during the early Islamic period when the interactions between Persian-speaking and Turkic-speaking people intensified.
In the meantime, it's time to make the dough. Take 500 grams of wheat flour and gradually add tiny bits of room temperature water. Keep mixing. The dough needs to rest for about an hour now. And what does all of this actually have to do with Russian pelmeni and Polish uszka? Pelmeni are meat dumplings usually served with sour cream. They're popular in Russia, Ukraine, Lithuania, basically all over Eastern Europe. They are also the national dish of the Russian Republic of Udmurtia, where people are so serious about their dumplings that they even made a special statue.
The Russian word pelmeni clearly comes from Udmurt, since it doesn't make much sense in Russian. But in Udmurt, the etymology is quite clear. Piel means ear, and nyan means bread. So pelnyan means ear-shaped bread, or ear-shaped flour thing. We mentioned at the beginning that the Persian joshpara meant something like the small boiled thing.
However, at some point a folk etymology emerged, and the word joshpara was reinterpreted as goshebare, which would mean something like lamb ear. Was it because the shape of the dumpling resembles an ear? Who knows? But anyway, it's ears again, and this may not be a coincidence.
It has been suggested that tushpara were introduced in the Ural region by fur traders. and the local people translated the name in their own language, calling them pelmeni, here bread. And this word then spread to the west, first entering Russia and then Europe. And this is how we finally get to Polish uszka. It's a translation again.
Polish uszka means little ears too. In Poland, these dumplings are commonly eaten with beetroot soup barszcz, for example on Christmas Eve. So let's wrap it up. If you liked this video, remember to subscribe for more food and linguistics, and see you next time!